Okay, this is the second part of the writing process. We have done our brainstorming. We've chosen our varied points, and we're doing the 5-paragraph essay. So that means we're going to have 3 body paragraphs. So my students have 3 boxes, okay, on their flea map. All right. So after you have done that with your students, if you watch video 1, you are now ready to go on to this video, which is the ABCs of an opening paragraph. Okay, so I came up with this acronym based off of the parts that need to go in. An attention getter, that's what the A stands for. A bridge, this is what helps the opening not be choppy. And the composition topic, which is going to, of course, come from the center of the circle map and the 3 points that are in the boxes for the flea map. Okay, so my students have turned to page 5 in their writing folder, and it has this particular information in it. All right, so the purpose of an attention getter, okay, is, of course, to focus or hook the audience's attention in the direction of the thesis to come. So if your attention getter is not doing that, you will probably need to revise it. Also, it should lead the audience down the track of thought to the composition's thesis. That is the purpose of an attention getter. So if you have written one, because my students wrote theirs on yesterday, they're up there right now checking to make sure that their attention getter actually matches the purpose of an attention getter. Okay? Now, here is an example from the essay that was mentioned in the first video. We are writing our first paper, an expository essay on competition. So here is an example that my students have. They have these packets right here. Once again, if you would like the packet, you could just email me, and I will send it to you in an attachment. Imagine a world devoid of the thrill of victory. No cheering when one makes it to the finish line. No thunderous applause and medals at the Olympics when the athlete does the amazing and receives the inner triumph of a dream fulfilled. Moreover, there really would be no need for terms like the best, because competition usually identifies who is the best. So here is an example that I have. Of course, if we were going to identify it, it would be the type of attention getter that it would be a verbal picture. Okay, so that transitions us into this slide, the list of the attention getters that we can use. Once again, my students have a writing packet with this information in it, and they know that they can ask a provocative question. Now, I know a lot of teachers, they steer away from the question because students ask very basic, immature, inappropriate questions. So you can continue to tell students that they cannot do that as a choice. I, on the other hand, like to teach them how to write a question. Make a bold, shocking statement. Provide a statistic or fact. Tell a short story. So it needs to be from 3 to 5 sentences. We know that we have students that will go on and on. I playfully call it diarrhea of the mouth. Okay? So make sure that if you teach kids that they can do a short story, an anecdote, then as an attention getter, it should be no more than 3 to 5 sentences, because we don't want to take up all of our space, monopolize all of our space with just the introduction. Being that most standardized tests only give them front and back 150 to 200 words to express the idea. Okay, also, they can do a quote, because most time they have text. For this, our first essay, yet again, we won't be having text for competition, but they do have a writing prompt that has information in it that they might end up quoting. Okay? Define a term, a verbal picture, humor, and when we say humor in English, like I told my students, it doesn't mean ha-ha funny. It means sometimes it's satire. Sometimes it's sarcasm. Okay? Sometimes it's irony. Sometimes it's dark humor. So my students know that the word humor doesn't mean like just a joke or something. And of course, mystery. So these are the type of attention getters that students can use. If a student has written an attention getter, you ought to be able to tell which one you used or which combination, because an attention getter can of course be a combination of techniques, like the activity on page 5 of our writing packet. And once again, teachers, if you would like the packet, I have no problem emailing it to you. You can contact me at eureka.dalton@tangischools.org, and it will be on the cover slide to this particular tutorial. Okay, so once students have viewed this information, they can now try to write an attention getter. Okay? At this time, teachers, you would stop right there, because as you can see, we're going into the bridge, which is the second part. So we would stop right there. We will stop right here and leave it right there and monitor our students to make sure that they have the idea of an attention getter. And as you walk around, like I do all the time, you can give them feedback and let them know whether they are doing a good job, whether they need to revise, or whether some of them may even be off topic or not writing in the right vein. Right? So at this point, you can pause the video if necessary. The next component of ABC is the bridge, okay? And it does just that. That's why I got this image of a bridge right here. It bridges one part to the other part. So you can think about it bridges the attention getter to the thesis statement, okay? It does it in a smooth way, not choppy. So to write a bridge, you have to look at your attention getter, okay? And that's what I did. So my last sentence in my attention getter, and students, you have the packet so you can look at my attention getter, because that's what I'm looking at. The last word or the last sentence says, moreover, there really would be no need for terms like the best, because competition usually identifies who is the best. So notice, my bridge has to do this. It has the bridge from the attention getter to the composition thesis. It has to be a transitional sentence or lead sentence or sentence says. It could be more than one sentence. And to simplify, a bridge smoothly moves the essay. It smoothly moves the essay from the hook to the punchline. And the punchline is the thesis. Say it louder.
Thesis.
All right, the punchline is the thesis statement. So, I need everybody. Like I said, my students wrote their attention getters on yesterday, so they have something to actually view. You cannot do the bridge until your students are finished writing their attention getter. So find your last sentence, okay? My last sentence was talking about how the term the best wouldn't have any meaning if it wasn't for competition, right? So this is the bridge that I came up with. The idea of being the best. Y'all see that? That's what I mean, you're bridging. You're taking your idea and you're continuing on, but remember, we're trying to get to that upside down triangle, huh? So we're always trying to bring it in, because we're going to bring it to the thesis, our specific punchline that we are going to discuss in our paper. So I'm doing it. The idea of being the best has motivated great human and personal triumphs, some of which have had a global impact on the world. Specifically, the competition between Apple and Samsung has led to major technological advances that have made life easier, okay? Now, notice, I'm bringing it in because after this, I put together what I put in the middle of my circle with my 3 points. So, because I have brought it down. I've talked about how competition, they now know that I think competition is something very positive, because I sound positive right here, saying we have got a lot of major technological advances. Human and personal triumphs have happened because of competition. So it's not going to be any shocker when I finally say competition is that competition is beneficial in the school environment. Right? And if you chose the opposite, that it wasn't, it should be no shocker to the writer when you finally say competition negatively impacts the school environment. Got it? Okay. So at this point, I'm going to walk around yet again and monitor my students as they construct their bridges. Now teachers, it's important that you probably wait about 1 or 2 minutes before you start walking around, because they actually have to think and write it. Of course, some students are going to be faster than others, and when I see those students writing, I go to their desk, and then I'll make my way to the students who I see are finally writing, and students who I don't see writing at all, because that usually means that they have an issue, that maybe they're confused, or it's taking them a while to process the information. So you would want to stop the video at this point to monitor your students' progress. It's very important, teachers, that you do not get too wrapped up in this period shouldn't go there, this word is misspelled, because you don't want to take the child's focus off of the true purpose of this, and that's teaching them the structure of an opening paragraph. Grammar, small grammar errors, spelling, subject-verb agreement, or whatever can be dealt with at another time. You don't want to stifle their creativity by having them focus on those little aspects of writing in comparison to structure, which is a major component of writing. Okay, so the last part of the introduction would be the thesis statement, okay? But before I get to that, I want to show an example of another attention getter and how it's set up. Splish splash with the soothing cool water as I dove in the shimmering emerald blue pool on a summer's day, should I say. I adore swimming, so I do it every chance I get. It is the main reason I look forward to the summer. Swimming is my favorite pastime because it is relaxing, it exercises the body, and it is challenging. Okay, so what do you think the prompt asked? What do you think the prompt asked? What do you think the prompt asked? All right, Miss Hempel.
What's your favorite sport?
What's my favorite sport? Maybe. Gabby?
What's your favorite pastime?
What's your favorite pastime? Okay, that's a good guess. Anybody else? Naya?
What do you look forward to this summer?
What do you look forward to in the summer? Okay. Months?
What your favorite hobby is?
What your favorite hobby is? Do y'all see when somebody writes strong that you need the prompt to figure this out? No. Do you see the reason why you have to write like this? A person should know what you're talking about without the prompt. That's what a powerful opening is going to do. They don't need the prompt. When you write poorly, they don't know what you're talking about. Okay? So notice, this was strong, you were able, and that's really what it asks. Is that what is your favorite pastime or hobby? Now look, that's basically what you all said. Good. All right. Now let's talk about some of the things I did. Y'all saw that visual, split splash, emerald, adjectives. Adjectives spunk up your writing. It makes it awesome sauce. Okay? That's the way I think about adjectives. I don't know, I always have thought about them like they're awesome sauce. Okay? You know how you get that good sandwich? Oh, those Raising Cane chicken fingers. But that sauce just does something for that chicken tender, doesn't it? Okay? Exactly. That's what adjectives do. you already have a basic sentence. I could have just said, I dove into the pool. Y'all know that's a true sentence, right? Look how boring it is. That's that chicken tender without the awesome sauce. Okay? The adjectives give it the awesome sauce. And do y'all see I even did alliteration? Y'all saw that split splash? Those things that you are taught in figurative language. Yes, they go in your writing. It makes it interesting. It makes people want to read it. It captivates people. Okay? And right here, y'all see the bridge? I adore swimming, so I do it every chance I get. Because now I need to move the reader to what I really want to talk about, huh? It is the main reason I look forward to the summer. Boom. Summer is my favorite pastime, hobby. Because it is. And here are my points from the boxes, huh? Relaxing. It exercises the body, and it's challenging. So you know exactly what I had in my method. That's what I'm doing to you all when I read your openings. That's how I know where things should be, according to how you added in your method. Okay? So this is a good checkpoint, yet again, for you to check your information. Because that's what it ends up looking like when it's all put together. A solid, captivating, clear, concise opening. That's what you're shooting for. Okay? That's the goal. Here go another example. I got several. Ready to experience Southern hospitality at its best? That's for you all. That's a provocative question. That's a thought-provoking question. That's somebody from the North was reading my paper. They definitely want to read it because they want to know what is Southern hospitality. Okay? If you're from the South, you like, hey, Louisiana has the best Southern hospitality. Nuh-uh, Georgia has it. What do they call Southern hospitality? Louisiana has the best Southern hospitality. Well, I did during my vacation to Atlanta. Y'all see that trend? Y'all see that? Sometimes it is one sentence. That's a one sentence bridge right there. It has become my favorite vacation spot because of the Coca-Cola Company, Martin Luther King's Museum, and the Underground Railroad. What probably did this prompt ask for?
Your favorite vacation spot?
Your favorite vacation spot. Once again, when an opening is done solidly, you know what the prompt is. A person doesn't need the prompt. If a person has to ask you to bring them the prompt, you know you have done a bad job. They cannot figure it out. Okay? You were not specific enough. Your words were not concise enough. You probably had diarrhea of the mouth and they got lost down the rabbit hole in Alice in Wonderland. Okay? That's what happened. Okay, so that is going to conclude the video today. On tomorrow, I'm going to come and we're going to talk about thesis statements. You know, the God of the essay. That's little g God. Alright? So right now you would do a coherence and an organization check. And you could actually leave this up so students can look at their openings and get with a partner. All of you all, except if people are absent, you have somebody on side of you. Your shoulder partner is what I call them, okay? Get with your shoulder partner after you have written your opening, and so they can give you some feedback on whether your opening is solid. So far, you should have the attention getter and the bridge. That's what they're looking over. All right, for the rest of you all, you're going to tune back in to the third installment of this writing workshop called You Are a Writer. Until then, be good.